Is it too cheesy to ask a question like, is the new Hierro V2 a hero of a shoe? Or have I just kind of broken the YouTube rules of just being ridiculously obvious and cheesy? So the New Balance Hierro Fresh Foam version 2. Yes, it's back and it's been improved and it's got fresh foam and it's even now got a Vibram outsole as well. Now, I used this shoe to do my very first Ultra and, well, I finished the Ultra and I had a great time. And this was the shoe that I chose. So clearly I was feeling very confident and very comfortable in the shoe's ability to deliver. Let's go into some of the nitty gritty. For a UK size 11, it weighs in at 358 grams, which is 12.6 ounces. It's got a 4mm heel to toe drop. As I mentioned, you've got the Vibram outsole there, nice and grippy, and they've improved the lugs and the spacing of them for this version. It's sort of got a neutral bias with plenty of cushioning, and it's got this 3D printed upper. That's the basics. Let's get into what's great and maybe what's not so great. So things I like about the shoe. For a start, I love the styling. I think it looks really funky. This grey with this kind of luminous orange, I am loving that. The way it's got this upper here with the grey, with the N, even with the laces. Yes, I know I'm getting really pedantic. And it also kind of looks to me like it does and rides the way it's supposed to. In other words, it looks like it's a shoe that you could use to go from paths to trails to some rough stuff and back again and have a whole mixture, which to be frank is why I got it, because I looked at it and I was convinced that it would do a variety of different tasks which I wanted it to do for the Ultra that I was doing. So I kind of got it with that particular race in mind and it didn't let me down. It performed really well. And there was a really good variety of different surfaces that I ran on. For a start, the Vibram outsole. Not once did I slip. We went through 2 thunderstorms on that whilst running on trails. This thing did not slip once, not even a hint. It just gripped, it went. I mean, it's not got the most aggressive lugs, but they worked. That's all that matters. And I think because they are not the most aggressive looking, when the trail goes hard or you're going on paths, or even when you go from maybe from trails to paths to pavement to a road or whatever, it did it all. And at no point did it feel uncomfortable, which is great. So hot spots, none. Didn't get hot once in it. Felt very comfortable. Felt nice and cushioned, especially around the upper, this area around the ankle and the heel. This all felt good. It felt locked down. Didn't feel any excess movement or anything like that. In terms of durability, I mean, I've done a decent mileage on it already. I'm probably getting up to about 60 miles or so in this shoe now. And it still looks almost like new. I mean, I've had to clean it up a little bit and clean off the mud and stuff. Seems to be holding up really well. I mean, you're starting to see a little bit of wear, but actually I've got a feeling this shoe will probably last a very, very long time. So yeah, I think it's going to wear the abuse well, and I'm intending to use it again for more races in the future because it worked well. And that's you know, if you're going to put it on for doing long distance racing, you're going to be fairly comfortable with it. But it's not all blue skies and sunny days. What are the things that maybe aren't so great about this shoe? Well, I don't know if it'd be a criticism per se, but when I looked at it, when I looked at the amount of cushioning and the way that the cushioning was designed, I did think it would be just a little bit softer in its ride. So the cushioning is fine, it's not bad at all. So please don't take this as a major criticism, because it's not. I just think that when you look at it, you could be forgiven for thinking it's going to have a slightly softer ride than it actually does. So it errs more towards slightly firmer, slightly more responsive, less cushioned, less Hoka-like. And I did think this might be a little bit Hoka-ish with the amount of cushioning, especially with the fresh foam. I just thought it might be a little bit softer. Maybe that's my fault for looking at it and making that judgment, but in case you were looking at it and thinking the same as me, no, it's definitely slightly on the firmer. And again, I don't think it's a criticism of the shoe. When I got to sort of the marathon distance in my Ultra with this, at that point, my toes did start to hurt. Now, I think it's because I'd done some other races, my toes maybe a little bit beat up, I've done some long runs, and it just was the amount of distance I was doing in it. I don't think it's the shoe, but again, I would just check. I mean, for me, I think it's fairly true to size. If it had just been a hair smaller, I would have wanted to go up half a size. So again, maybe I would say for you, if you can, try it on first and just make sure that toe box fits you, just in case it's a hair too small. For me, it was fine, but it was only just fine. And again, I am really, really being picky here because this is a very good shoe. I was so happy to have finished my first Ultra. I was very happy that I used this shoe. It got me through it. It didn't let me down. At no point was I doing the race and regretting my decision. Yes, towards the end, my feet were feeling a little bit beaten up, but Christ, that was my first Ultra. What did I expect? Of course, my feet were going to feel a little bit beaten up at the end, but really, actually, my feet were pretty good, all things considered, and I think they were pretty good, all things considered, because this shoe had looked after me. So, for me, I will probably always have a happy memory of this shoe because I know I've said it 3 or 4 times now because I did my first Ultra in it. So yeah, for me, 5-star shoe, a really, great looking, good performing shoe. If you're looking for it, yeah, I think that the Hierro name, yeah, I think it's justified. And with that, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.